This first tutorial will show you 4 steps to organize your presentation in the most engaging way. We call them the 4 novelty moves because each move builds up to why your research is a novel and important contribution to the field. Why should you follow these 4 moves? Well, you know your work is valuable, but you still have to prove to your audience that there's a need for your project in the first place. These 4 moves are based in research in rhetoric and linguistics. You can apply them not only to your 3-minute thesis presentation, but to most of your papers and abstracts. The 4 moves are: establish the significance, describe the status quo, identify a gap, and fill the gap. Move 1 is to establish the significance of your topic. This helps your audience understand why your topic should be studied at all, and why now. Move 1 sets high stakes for your research. Take a look at this example. Move 1 is also an opportunity to hook your audience's attention. Use words that convey the urgency of your topic. Words like chronic, opportunity, risk, challenge. Move 2 is to describe the status quo. The status quo is the state of your field right now. What do people already know about your topic? What are the current practices and beliefs? Move 2 sets the context for your project. Together, these first 2 moves give your audience a sense of why your work matters and how far we've already come in understanding it. Move 3 is to identify a gap in the current research. Remember, you're trying to tell a compelling story about your project. So far, you've raised the stakes and set the context by showing why your topic matters and what is being done about it. Now the audience wants to know what hasn't been done. What's missing in our understanding? What problems or questions still need to be answered? A gap in the current research adds conflict to the story. The audience now sees that the status quo is flawed or incomplete in some way. Of course, you don't have to point out everything we don't know. Just focus on the small gap your research can help fix. Think of the gap as a missing piece of a much larger puzzle. Move 4 is to fill the gap you've identified. Your audience is hungry to see what solution or insight can resolve this conflict. You can now present your project as a timely, necessary, and innovative contribution. To sum up, the 4 novelty moves are: establish significance to raise the stakes, describe the status quo to set the context, identify a gap to add conflict to your story, and fill the gap with your project to resolve this conflict. You'll often see these moves used in other presentations and papers, though you may sometimes see them in a different order, or even with 2 of these moves combined into 1. Remember that the 4 novelty moves are just meant to help you organize your presentation into a compelling and engaging story, so you can mix them up how you like. However, the order we've shown is probably the most straightforward way to use them. Now we'll move on to other strategies that can make your presentation even more compelling. We'll come back to these 4 novelty moves in the 3MT examples later, but if you'd like to practice them more on your own, see our handout and video tutorial on implementing the novelty moves. Otherwise, let's move on to the next tutorial on metaphors and transitions.